Most people think power comes from speaking, from being loud, confident, dominant, from always having something to say. But if you observe closely, the people who speak the least are often the ones who influence the most. They don't interrupt. They don't rush to respond. They don't try to prove themselves. And yet people pay attention to them. There's a reason for this. Silence changes perception. In social situations, your brain is constantly trying to evaluate others. Who is confident? Who is insecure? Who should be taken seriously? And surprisingly, silence often signals control. When someone speaks too much, the brain detects a need for validation. When someone speaks less, the brain assumes they are choosing not to speak. That choice feels like power, because it suggests they don't need approval. This is the first psychological shift. Silence is interpreted as confidence. It's not because silence is inherently powerful, but because it creates ambiguity. And the human brain fills ambiguity with assumptions. If someone is quiet, people start projecting. They assume intelligence, depth, awareness. Even if none of that has been proven, because silence leaves space for imagination, and imagination often exaggerates. Another reason silent people appear powerful is because they observe more than they express. When you speak, you release information. But when you stay quiet, you collect it. You notice patterns, tone changes, body language, inconsistencies. You understand people without revealing yourself. This creates an asymmetry. Others feel exposed, while you remain unknown. And in social psychology, the unknown often feels dominant, because it cannot be easily predicted. There's also emotional control. Most people speak impulsively. They react quickly, defend themselves, fill silence because it feels uncomfortable. But silent people tolerate that discomfort. They don't rush to respond, they pause. And that pause changes everything. It shows control over impulse. And control is one of the strongest signals of power. When someone reacts immediately, it feels emotional. When someone responds slowly, it feels intentional. People trust intention more than reaction. Another important factor is value perception. When something is abundant, it feels less valuable. When something is rare, it feels more valuable. Words work the same way. If someone talks constantly, their words lose weight. But if someone speaks rarely, every word feels important. People listen more carefully, because they assume it matters. This is why silent people often command attention when they finally speak. Not because their words are louder, but because they are limited. There's also the effect of presence. Silent people are often more present. They are not focused on what to say next. They are focused on what is happening now. Presence creates awareness. You respond better, you notice more, you engage more deeply. While others are busy thinking about how they appear, you are understanding what is real. This creates clarity, and clarity feels like confidence. Another reason silence feels powerful is because it disrupts expectations. Most conversations follow predictable patterns: question, response, reaction. But when someone breaks that pattern by pausing or saying less, the brain pays attention because something is different, and difference creates focus. Silence becomes noticeable. And what is noticeable becomes influential. There's also something deeper. Silence protects your energy. Every conversation requires effort. Explaining, defending, reacting. When you speak less, you conserve that energy. And energy translates into composure. You appear calmer, more stable, less affected. And stability is often mistaken for strength. But silence is not about avoiding people. It's about choosing when to engage. That distinction matters, because silence without awareness is just withdrawal. But silence with awareness is control. Another psychological layer is respect. People often respect those who don't try too hard to be heard, because trying too hard signals need. Need reduces perceived value. But when someone is comfortable not being the center of attention, it signals independence. And independence attracts attention naturally. There's also the power of listening. Most people listen to reply, and not to understand. But silent people listen fully. They absorb information. They make others feel heard. And when people feel heard, they become more open. This creates influence, because influence is not about controlling others. It's about understanding them. And understanding comes from listening, not speaking. But here's the important truth. Silence alone does not make you powerful. It's intentional silence that does. If you stay quiet because of fear, it feels different. If you stay quiet because of awareness, it feels strong. People can sense the difference. Powerful silence is calm, not tense. It's controlled, not suppressed. It's a choice, not a reaction. And that choice changes how people see you. In a world where everyone is trying to be heard, the person who doesn't try stands out. Not because they are louder, but because they are different. Difference attracts attention. Attention creates influence. And influence is what most people mistake for power.